guest in the history of our show, and the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, Miss.
On January 2nd, 2025, Caitlin Clark made her highly anticipated appearance on the popular show hosted by Jason and Travis Kelce, and the interview quickly became one for the history books. Clark, already one of the most requested guests in the show's history and recently named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, had everyone captivated as she opened up about her journey and the challenges she's faced as a prominent white player in the WNBA. What unfolded over the course of the conversation was nothing short of iconic, providing fans with a deeper understanding of the hard-hitting realities of being an athlete in today's rapidly changing sports landscape. When asked about her accomplishments and which ones meant the most to her, Caitlin, known for her candid nature, didn't hesitate. "Well, I give you the answer my mom would say is probably academic All-American," she said, reflecting on the pride her mother felt seeing her excel as a student in college. Though this answer was sweet and humble, it was clear that Caitlin's journey wasn't only about her athletic feats, but also the people and experiences that shaped her. However, it wasn't the accolades that really stole the show. It was the unfiltered conversation Caitlin had about navigating life as a white player in the WNBA, a subject that's become increasingly important in today's sports dialogue. Caitlin made it clear that despite some people's attempts to discredit her achievements and attribute them to her skin color, she was well aware of the conversations happening around her. "Like, as you guys know, that's just how the world works," Caitlin said. "Especially with social media, people see a lot of your life, but that's what makes it fun and why I've had so many cool opportunities too." She acknowledged the critics who had tried to minimize her success by claiming she was only getting attention because of her race. But Caitlin didn't just shut down the noise, she used it as a platform to express gratitude toward the fans who supported her throughout all the drama. "I think that's kind of something that needs to become more prevalent," she said thoughtfully. "I know universities are trying to start having in-house nil people or whatever it is to try to manage that." With the weight of her public image, Caitlin also got a little emotional during the interview, a rare but deeply human moment that only made her more relatable and endearing to fans everywhere. From there, the conversation shifted to one of Caitlin's most significant insights into the world of college sports, the name, image, and likeness nil deals. As someone who has seen the transformation of the collegiate athletic landscape, Caitlin didn't shy away from discussing how nil has flipped the script for college athletes, particularly women. The implementation of nil rules, which now allow athletes to earn money from their personal brands, has been a game changer. Caitlin reflected on the new opportunities women athletes are now able to seize, explaining, "Women's sports has blown up with the nil stuff. It's been great for everybody. Yet it wasn't all sunshine and dollar signs." Caitlin pointed out a major issue that many athletes face when they're suddenly thrust into the world of financial success: taxes. She laughed as she reminisced about her own college days when paying taxes wasn't even on her radar. "I definitely wasn't ready to pay taxes when I was in college," she admitted. "Like, you're getting this money, and little do they know, you're going to see maybe half of that, especially when Uncle Sam shows up." It was a reality check that many young athletes could relate to, with Caitlin highlighting how important it is for them to understand the financial implications of their newfound wealth. Continuing with the topic of nil, Caitlin was critical of how some universities have failed to properly support athletes in managing their new financial lives. She explained how schools often leave players to navigate this complex world alone, offering little more than a good luck approach instead of providing crucial resources like financial advisors or nil workshops. This lack of support, Caitlin explained, creates an environment where players are set up for failure despite their overwhelming success on the field. She pointed out, "It makes it hard, but it obviously changed a lot, and it's made it fun." Caitlin then turned the conversation to the WNBA, offering her take on the drastic transition from college to professional basketball. Having experienced it herself, she compared it to a whirlwind. One minute, she was playing in a national championship game, basking in the glory of her college career. The next, she was at the WNBA draft, packing her bags, and preparing to start her professional life. "It's a total blur," she said, describing the hectic nature of the transition. "You don't even finish senior year of college, you're just moving in April." She made it clear that the WNBA doesn't provide the same luxurious transition time that other professional sports do. While NBA and NFL rookies often have months to prepare, WNBA players are expected to hit the ground running with little time to adjust. Camp for us is like a week and a half, Caitlin explained. It's just boom, boom, boom. You're just on to the next. The WNBA's tight schedule, Caitlin revealed, makes the adjustment even harder. There's no time to process the end of college life, let alone prepare for the new challenges of professional play. And this wasn't just hard on the body, it was mentally taxing as well. Caitlin admitted that it's not for the faint of heart. It's brutal, she said, adding that adjusting to new teammates, a new city, and a whole new level of competition tests even the toughest athletes. It's just boom, boom, boom. There's no time to overthink things. The interview took a turn toward an unexpected topic when the Kelce brothers brought up the NBA's declining ratings. Caitlin, who's known for her quick wit and bold opinions, gave an insightful take on what she thought was causing the drop. I think the Cavs are back, baby, Caitlin quipped before diving into the heart of the matter, the narrative around the NBA's lack of effort. Fans, Caitlin argued, were so accustomed to seeing players perform at an insane level that they assumed the athletes weren't trying. But Caitlin disagreed. Honestly, when you're that talented, people forget how much work it takes to make it look effortless, she said. I promise you, they're trying. They're just so good that it looks like they're not trying. She didn't stop there. Caitlin also addressed the growing sentiment that the NBA has become soft, pointing out that the league's more skill-based approach has taken the place of the bruising, physical style of play from past decades. Caitlin, who didn't witness the era of elbows and bench-clearing brawls, could still understand why fans miss the grit. People think it's gotten soft, she admitted, but that's because the skill has just changed. It's always evolving, and that's what's great about basketball. It's going to be different in 10 years than it was when MJ played. This led Caitlin to offer some surprising suggestions for shaking up the NBA. First, she proposed the idea of a 4-point line, yes, a new line even farther from the basket than the 3-point arc. Caitlin's playful suggestion was met with laughs from the Kelce brothers, but it was clear she was making a point about the need for more variety in the game. Let's do it, she said, as the brothers joked about the possibility of Steph Curry pulling up from the parking lot. And if that wasn't wild enough, Caitlin then floated the idea of NBA Jam rules, where players could get on fire after making consecutive shots. Imagine flaming basketballs and crazy dunks in real life, Caitlin said, referring to the classic arcade game. The Kelce brothers were all in, reminiscing about their childhood experiences with the game and laughing about how the NBA could use some of its craziness to win fans back. But Caitlin wasn't just looking for laughs, she was calling attention to what she felt was a lack of innovation in the NBA. The conversation then turned back to the WNBA, where Caitlin expressed her frustration with the league's compact schedule. The WNBA's 40-game season might seem manageable on paper, but Caitlin made it clear that the physical and mental toll on players was immense. Back-to-back games, long travel hours, and little time for recovery leave athletes burned out. The intense schedule, Caitlin said, left her feeling physically wrecked and mentally drained, with little time for proper rest or preparation. It's chaos, she described the experience. It's like running a marathon with no water breaks. The demands of the WNBA don't stop at the court. Caitlin also touched on the added pressure placed on female athletes to be role models for women's sports. WNBA players aren't just representing their teams, they're representing an entire movement. This added pressure, Caitlin said, makes the transition from college to professional sports even more challenging, especially for younger players still finding their footing. Perhaps the most powerful part of Caitlin's interview came when she addressed the disparity in resources between the WNBA and the NBA. While NBA players have access to charter flights, top-tier mental health professionals, and extensive recovery options, WNBA players are often left to fend for themselves with commercial flights and limited support. Caitlin wasn't asking for luxury accommodations. She just wanted the basics, things like mental health counselors and more recovery time. The league has made strides, she said, but it still has a long way to go. In the end, Caitlin Clark's interview was more than just an entertaining chat. It was a call to action, shedding light on the issues that need to be addressed in both women's sports and professional basketball as a whole. Whether it's pushing for better resources for WNBA players or shaking up the NBA's formulaic approach to the game, Caitlyn's words left a lasting impression. It was a moment of authenticity, strength, and vision, one that proved why Caitlin Clark is one of the most powerful voices in sports today.